Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cassie Villela, and I'm a realtor, property manager, and investor here in San Antonio, Texas. On my channel, we talk about all things real estate, from data and investing to home and garden. So if that's your cup of tea, please remember to follow, like, subscribe, all the things. I'm on most of the social media, so you know what to do. Today we're going to do our April 2022 San Antonio real estate market update. So today is actually the 27th that I'm filming this. We're going to start out with the local updates for COVID. Unfortunately, we've been low and steady for a while, and now we've gone up to mild and worsening. So please be careful. There are 115 new cases, which is not high compared to, like previous months, but we are kind of trending back up again, so be careful if you're in San Antonio. I think across the country, actually. Showings per week. So the blue line is 2020, the red line is 2021, the yellow line is 2022. And it's been kind of tricky to track this because prices have increased so fast over the years that it's hard to really compare this year versus last year in this price. I was trying to go for that kind of starter home, investor or starter home, category of back when we started this in 2020, that was 100 to 200,000. But prices have gone up so fast that I've had to increase it each year. And I don't even think that's working anymore because I think what's happened, it looks like, if you're looking at the screen, the yellow line, 2022, is so much lower this year than last year at this time. And, you could say like, oh, that's concerning. Why are there so many fewer showings, right? At the same time of year, it's April, there should be a lot of showings. I think what's actually happening is that the market's taking off so fast that there are so many fewer homes in that price range, in the 150 to 250 price range. And then the homes that are in that price range are generally snapped up so quickly by cash buyers that they really aren't on the market long enough to get showings. And so I think that's what is happening. And so I'm going to have to come up with a strategy to help us compare, because I do really like looking at showings as a metric for how the market is doing. I think that's the first metric that would start to change to indicate something, because all of the other metrics I use are a month behind. Like we're looking at March data in April, but this is April data in April. So I need to kind of brainstorm. If you have any ideas, definitely leave a comment. I might have to ask my data analyst husband to help me out. Rental showings, though, no problem there, because that's just across the board, all rentals. Basically, same where we were last year, not much of a change. Weekly home sales, pretty much tracking where we were last year again. We did have a pretty big spike the last week of March, which, all of those spikes that you see are always the last week of the month because everybody's trying to get the house sold before the month rolls over. So we always kind of have those like peaks and valleys. But the one, that's the highest number of sales that we've seen over the past 3 years in the last week of March. So that's interesting. I hope it means that there's more inventory, but I don't think we're going to get that lucky. Weekly median price, you can see again, it just continues to climb and climb. I like this graph because you can really see the jump in this time this year versus this time last year. It's just really kind of bonkers there. Median sales price over the last year, we continue to go up. I mean, we saw a huge spike from February to March, just a huge jump in median sales price there. One of the highest really that we've seen in the last year, maybe with the exception of last summer. But yeah, the market is just taken back off. I think it's interesting because we are starting to see the higher interest rates from the Fed. So a lot of people were kind of nervous about, well, is that going to slow things down? Is that going to lower prices? It just doesn't seem to be, not yet anyway. And I just put a buyer under contract yesterday, and it was pretty difficult to get him under contract, and even in his price range, which was like $350,000. So we're not talking about, starter home. We're talking about like move up home. It was still, we're just fighting against cash offers well over asking price. So that's anecdotal. That's one client and one price range, but the data does show that the market is just still going bananas. And then I followed it up with the median sales price over the last year. So you could see just kind of in comparison how much of a spike, even this last month, was a pretty significant spike. New listings by price range. So you can see that we're pretty much consistent. The one thing to take note of is that as that green line, which is the 190 to 255 price range, that continues to fall. And then obviously those houses are going into the next price ranges up, the teal line, which is 255 to 354. But even that one now in the last month has kind of gone down, and we're up in the gray line is really the one that's the majority of the homes on the market now, which is 354 or above. And so we've kind of just seen over time how the prices just keep creeping up, and that really, like that first slide I showed you with the showings, and I say, okay, like there's no showings. Well, if you look at this green line, there's not that many houses to look at in that price range. Homes for sale, still very low, continuing to go down. Now, this doesn't mean that they're not being listed. It's just that they're being sold so quickly, just like we've been talking about for months now. So you can see that in March, there was a dip in homes for sale on the market. And then I put the 10-year view so you can just kind of see historically how much lower it is than normal. So, if you're listening to this, the historic line from 2013 to 2020 kind of hovered in between 8,000 to 10,000 homes on the market at any given point, kind of went up and down with the yearly cycle. And then it plummets in 2021, 2021, it plummets down to under 4,000 homes for sale on the market. So that's all of San Antonio. It has less than 4,000 homes on the market. And we have a lot more buyers than that. Pending sales and closed sales are both up. We saw that huge spike in the March sales. So you can see that here as well. Lots of closed sales in March. And that's why that total number of homes on the market is so low, because the homes are selling so fast. So we have all these closed sales, we have all these pending sales, and not enough new listings. So median days on market, so we're plummeting back down. So we're down under 20 days on market again, especially in that $250,000 to $350,000 range. That's a really hot part of the market where the majority of the homes are, and people are just competing for those. So they're on the market and they're just taken off the market right away. Lots of cash offers, lots of going over asking price. But you can see in every category, the days on market has now dipped back down. Not as low as it was last summer, not yet, but looks like probably will be soon. Median price per square foot. I went ahead, I normally just do a year on this, but I went ahead and I expanded it to 3 years, because I feel like the past 3 years are really where we've seen this big jump in our market. And so I kind of wanted to just see what that looked like. And obviously it kind of looks like what you would expect it to look like, this just increasing line. But you can really see how it was kind of a slow increase from 2019 to 2020, even kind of steady for a while. And then basically last year is when it really started to spike. So our median price per square foot across all price ranges is around 170, 175, maybe 170, 175. And then of course in the higher price ranges, it's much higher. But for the bulk of the market, it's around 175. Median percent of last list price. So this is basically whatever the home was listed at, did it actually go under contract for more or less or even, right? So the last list price. We're seeing that back in the summer of last year when things got really bonkers, we even went above list price on our averages here, our median, excuse me. But now we are back, we for several months have been steady at list price. I anticipate, just from being in the market and making offers and things, I anticipate that that will jump back up probably next month. I think April has gotten kind of wild here, so I think we'll see that go up. Month supply of homes for sale, of course, we're down under 1%. Again, I expanded this chart out to 3 years so we could see, you know, in 2019, our supply of homes on the market was over 3, which is still a seller's market. A balanced market would be 6, but you know, it's better than now where we have less than 1 month on the market for most price ranges. Even the $355,000 or more price range is only 1.5 months of inventory. So March single family home sales, we had a 1% increase, so just about the same. 3,522 single family homes sold in March of this year. Of course, like we've been seeing, a huge average and median increase, a median increase of 22%. I think last month it was 20, so you know, we're already starting to see that get even crazier. 2022 March, the median home price was $326,500. The average was $374,168. Single family home days on market in March, 34 days on market. That's a 24% decrease from last year. Multifamily sales, 62, which is more, I mean, I think that's probably the highest number of multifamily sales in 1 month that I've seen since I started doing these market updates. So I don't know if that means that maybe they've, I do know that I've seen a lot more new build, like duplexes. So maybe there's some more new builds in that, which would also make sense because the average price on those is $410,000 basically. So a higher average price, the median price was $344,400. So prices are going up and there were more on the market. So I'm going to read into that there were a lot more new developments. I keep that in. So every month when I do this, I'm like, I should just take out the multifamily because it's such a small number and it fluctuates so much that it's not really a good metric year over year. But the reason I leave it in is because I constantly have people who call and they want to buy a multifamily home. And I have to tell them, look, last month there were 3,600 single family homes sold in San Antonio and there were only 44 multifamily homes. I keep it in so you can kind of see just how few multifamily homes are actually in San Antonio at all, like that even exist, and how few are actually for sale. So that's why I keep it in. Maybe I should take it out, but residential rental units rented, a 10% increase. So 1,236 units rented this past month. Rent price increased by 13%. So last year at this month, the average rent was $1,575, and this year it is $1,778. Now, again, this does not include apartments. That's a different database. This is mostly rental homes, maybe a few condos and apartments and things mixed in, but for the most part, this is rental homes. But still, $1,778 for San Antonio is very high. But with the home prices going up and property taxes going up, which reminds me, the notices of appraised value should have gone out already. I got mine in the mail. You have until May 15th to protest your property valuation. If you look at it, most people's taxes went up pretty significantly. My taxes went up over $2,000 on my primary home in 1 year. Not the value, like the amount of taxes I have to pay. So you definitely want to do that protest. I have a video series on my channel that's like a property tax protest video series. And I actually, take you through exactly how to do it, the website, how to navigate the website, what to put, how to get help if you need it, all of that. It's really, really easy. It will probably take you about an hour if you're looking, if you do the walkthrough that I have. It won't take you very long, and it will save you hundreds of dollars usually. So it's definitely worth doing, and especially because they went up so much this year. And I bring that up when talking about rental prices because, as a landlord, I don't like to raise the rent on my tenants. I mean, I know that you're supposed to and whatever, but if I have a good tenant, I'm just like, you know what? It's fine. Like, it's just, I don't want them to move out. I like them. I'm not going to raise the rent. But then if the property taxes go up that drastically, then I have to, right? And so it's just, I think that the rent prices are going to go up a lot more now because unfortunately the property taxes went up so much. So even landlords like me who have their properties rented at way undervalue, they're still going to be wanting to raise the rent. So that's unfortunate. But if you protest your taxes, well, you're not protesting your taxes, you're protesting the valuation of your home, which affects how much your taxes are. But if you do that, at least, even if it's for a rental house, like if that helps a little bit, then that's great. So definitely do that. Take the time to do it. It's a good thing to do. Moving on. Done with this is my yearly like soapbox thing. I'm always trying to get everybody to protest their taxes. So San Antonio median sales price. Definitely you can see over the 5 years here. Now this data is from Independence Title. Anybody can get this data. It's on their website. They've also got some other things that are on their website that are really helpful under tools and resources. So definitely a cool place to check out. But you can see here just the massive gap that continues to grow. It's like, okay, between 2020 and 2021, we're already like, oh my God, how did it go up that much? And then now it's even more. So you can see in March it went up $60,000 and from year over year, the median sales price. So to me, that is bananas. So 320 is our median sales price right now. Total sales volume for the whole market. Now this is in the billions, and this line, we're not selling more homes, it's that they're getting more expensive, and that's causing the sales volume to be higher. Months of inventory, again, going back to 2018, 2019, and you have 3.5 months of inventory, and we already thought we were suffering back then. we didn't know how good we had it, right? And then residential sales, basically exactly where we were this time last year. There's not a lot of new construction hitting the market with what's going on in construction inputs and the price of lumber and shortage of lots and things like that. So we'll probably track just about where we were last year, if I had to guess. Average sales price, same thing. So the average sales price now is about $370,000 in San Antonio. I prefer the median as a metric because the average is skewed by, really fancy $1 million homes. But, it's good to have the data. So basically, overall, the market does not seem to be slowing down at all. We were worried a little bit about the interest rates going up, but in my experience, that has not changed. Even buyers that I had that got pre-approved at a lower interest rate, I've gone back and say, okay, do we need to lower your price that you're going for? And they're like, no, we're just still going to buy the same amount of house and have a higher payment. So That's happening. Also, there's a lot of cash buyers that are not affected by the interest rate at all. So it's just a really, really hot market. It's very competitive. We're really already back into that season where house hits the market, it immediately gets dozens of offers. I had one that we submitted an offer and the listing agent very kindly wrote back and said, look, we've gotten over 20 offers and yours is not in the running, so I just didn't want to waste your time. I was like, well, that's good. At least now we don't have to sit around for a day and wait, but that's where we are right now. So it's really tough for buyers, especially if you're, gosh, even if you're up in the 350 range, it's gotten extremely competitive. But I mean, I guess that's good news if you're selling. If you're selling, it's a really good time to sell. If you don't have to turn around and buy again, it's a great time to sell in San Antonio. I will let you know as soon as, if we see things changing, if the interest rates really start to pop in and cause some disruptions. I just don't anticipate that with what we've already seen in April though. So that's where we are. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Again, if you subscribe, that helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.